In my hand, I have the very secret one-piece McDonald's menu. This is actually just graph paper where I wrote down notes based on the menu. I asked a few of my friends in Japan to go and buy the entire one-piece menu from McDonald's. They tore the thing apart, enjoyed themselves, hopefully, because I paid for it, so that's really cool that I could buy them dinner out there. And they had a few things to say. All of those things are now on this sheet of paper as to how we're gonna make this entire menu. You may wonder, Paul, why are you gonna be making the entire one-piece McDonald's menu? Well, here's the thing. We can't actually have that here in the States. If I wanted McDonald's, I would just go buy McDonald's. I just can't get this McDonald's. So now you and I are gonna make this together right now, the whole menu. So now the first thing I actually have to make are the two sauces, and these are gonna be used for both burgers. The first is going to be the Tatatsu Yuzu scented burger. According to my agents on the ground, this is a smoky pepper mayo. So I have about half a cup of mayo into this jar. A bunch of cracked black pepper, let's just, call it there. A nice pinch of salt. Give this a quick stir, make sure all of that is incorporated. It's not very much, because we're only using this for 2 burgers. There's a reason why though, I have it in this massive jar. I don't actually have liquid smoke, but I do have a small smoker. So yes, we're actually going to be smoking our mayo. Now I've actually had stuff like this at different whiskey bars where they would basically fill a cup worth of smoke after it has some scotch in it, turn this thing off, throw a lid on it, and we're just gonna let this sit with that smoke. Oh God. Please don't turn on the fire alarm. I don't want that today. There's our first mayo. Now for the Tatatsu burger, not the yuzu scented one, they kind of use a different sauce. Now Joe had said this.
It's like cheesy. I think it's cheesy.
The only way for me to assume that it has some cheese flavor in there is by an additive. Or they could have also had cheese on the burger. Some of the images were a little weird. But for this, I have another helping of mayo in here. Cracked black pepper. They seem to like pepper. Maybe they think it's like gunpowder. To give it that cheesy flavor, I'm gonna be using nutritional yeast. It's a vegan-friendly option that's a bit savory and cheese-like flavor. So I'm gonna add quite a bit, maybe like a full 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Give this a quick mix. Now I'm gonna try this before I smoke it. It's cheesy. That's really good. I'm gonna do the same thing with this and smoke the house out. Good amount of smoke. Now with the mayo-based sauces done, I have to move on to the yuzu-based sauce, or the yuzu-scented sauce. This one was interesting because it's the one that stood out the most on the entire menu, and that is gonna be utilizing some daikon. Now the daikon did look pretty nicely diced, so I'm gonna try to do the same exact thing with the daikon I have. It almost seems like they're using this as a relish. Now this, nicely diced radish, that's gonna go right in there. And then to this, I'm gonna be adding some lemon juice because I don't have yuzu. It's actually very difficult to get yuzu in the States, especially fresh. Now this daikon and lemon juice is gonna be cooked down very, very gently. I'm also gonna be adding just a touch of sugar on this because it looked like it was a bit glazed, and then just finish it with some cornstarch. This should go by very, very quickly because I'm not trying to really cook the daikon too much. And while this is going, I'm gonna take 1 whole potato and drop it in some boiling water for that pot pie that we have to make as well. I wonder what this tastes like, but it's so hot. We're going for it. That's delicious. It's actually really nice. A little splash of salt in there. That's much better than I thought it was gonna be. Place this into my container and just let it hang out, Kind of on a roll already. We got 2 sauces made. We got 1 condiment made. Let's season the chicken. I think that's a good idea. Now listen, I don't actually own a meat grinder. Yes, I've been cooking most of my life. I don't really want a meat grinder right now. The biggest thing with these chicken patties is they didn't say what it was seasoned with, so I'm just going with salt and pepper, and I'm gonna portion these out for 4 different sandwiches. This is 1 pound worth of ground chicken, so I want 4 4-ounce patties. I'm just kind of guessing to get them sort of even. No muss, no fuss, don't need to get all aggro and get out a bunch of equipment. Once I'm done forming these, I'm just gonna pop them back into the fridge until I need them. Next is the French fries. If you want, you can go buy some pre-made French fries, because the thing that makes these stand out the most is actually the seasoning packet. They mentioned that this is kind of a peppery, buttery seasoning, and since they don't have peppery, buttery seasoning, we have to make our own. Now these French fries are gonna be blanched in the same water that I have the other potato going in because I'm just trying to be efficient, and I'm also being a little lazy because we have to make quite a few things. So this is just gonna go in here for 3 minutes. Check it. Don't overcook them. This is the worst cooking show. This channel is now about anime. Now while those potatoes are all rolling, the other thing we need to do for that bacon potato pie is bacon. It's in the name. This is just some nice pepper smoked bacon you can use. Diced up the pork. Now I just have to cook it until it's nice and cooked and crispy. Maybe not that crispy, maybe a little bit crispy. These potatoes have been going for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. The giant potato is not done, but these fries are pretty close, so I'm gonna pull these out right now, so this way they can cool down to room temperature before we deep fry them later, because we don't want these overcooked, just a little cooked. This potato's taking way too long, so I'm gonna cut it, because we just need this to be mash. Maybe now we won't have to wait another 30 minutes for that potato. Now with that potato in that water almost done, this is when I wanna start some bacon, because yes, this has the bacon in it. But I thought, how much of a power move would it be if I like slowly cooked the bacon and then timed it properly with that potato, and then just took the potato and dumped it straight into the bacon, giving us that bacony, potatoey puree. I don't know, could be good. Now I know most of these recipes aren't proven, but the ones that are in my anime cookbook Anibites. This is styled like a Japanese manga, so if you wanna try some of these recipes out, you can pre-order it at the link down below, because yes, I have used this in clutch moments when I just wanna make something on the fly. Best part is 10% of all sales on the website go into the culinary school fund to help out culinary students get through college. So if you wanna get a really cool book and potentially one of those really cool headbands in the bundle, as well as helping out a college student, check out the links down below, guys. I really appreciate it. And who knows, maybe we'll have book 2 with this McDonald's menu in it. Now my potato is finally done, and I'm just gonna take this and put it directly into this bacon. Step away because this might splash everywhere. Oh yes. He did mention it was kind of a puree, but also chunky. So I'm just gonna be mixing this up until like it gets that texture and consistency, I guess. I also feel like this is really thick, so I'm just gonna add just a touch of half and half, or you can do milk or cream or whatever, just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. There we go, we got some chunks, we got some purees, we got a bunch of bacon in there. Give this a taste to make sure it has enough salt, which it should, because there's quite a bit of bacon. It doesn't have enough salt. A little hit of salt on there. This is good. Now this has to cool down completely so we can put it in the puff pastry. One of the more interesting parts of this menu is actually the tatatsu style, whichever one it is that uses rice. They use rice as buns. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pop it in the microwave for like 45 seconds just to reheat it a bit. Now they're more than likely using fresh rice just out of a rice cooker out there, but I just have some leftover stuff, so that's what I'm gonna be using instead of making a fresh batch for this. The goal is to form these into patties, essentially, or not patties, but buns. So I'm gonna take a small amount, place it into a ring mold, and I have to be able to get 4. Each burger needs 2 sides. Press this down quite a bit, and this, come on, should be good to go. Look at that, nice little burger bun. Now, just gotta make 3 more. And now I have all 4 of my buns ready to go. Now Joe had mentioned that the bun actually had a bit of a soy flavor to it, so I'm assuming that they brushed it with soy sauce. I also have a bit of my hot oil that I'm gonna use for French fries here just to make my life easy, and we're gonna douse just a little bit of this pan. I'm gonna cook this on one side for like 2 minutes and then brush it with some soy sauce after I flip it, and I think that's it. Okay, this one is definitely falling apart. This might be an RIP. Just gonna try to reshape it just a little bit. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna try to plop it into this pan. Well, we kind of have a shape. I don't know if that's gonna hold up, but we're just gonna go with it. These are the finished rice buns. I'm gonna pop these in the oven to stay warm while we finish up everything else and get ready to plate. The next thing I have to start getting ready is actually that puff pastry thing. That was the bacon potato, it's a Hot Pocket. It's a bacon potato Hot Pocket from McDonald's. This is definitely store-bought puff pastry. Why? It's actually relatively cheap. I think with the potato and bacon that we have, we can probably get 2 of these. I'm gonna cut my puff pastry in half. Then I'm gonna place a chunky amount of this bacon potato. It's not gonna be a rectangle like McDonald's has, but I think it's gonna be okay. We're gonna just try to do it, square it up, you know? Get this just a little bit wet, so this way it sticks. Then place this right on top and just give it a good old press, like a giant ravioli. Now the big thing too is we gotta crimp it, but that's basically what I'm looking for. I'm gonna take a fork and I'm gonna crimp all of the edges together. This, hopefully, is ready to deep fry. Now these I'm gonna pop back in the fridge just to keep cold, so this way none of that butter melts. You want these cold. Now finally, it is time to cook the chicken. It actually has taken quite a while. Now the chicken looked like it had a nice kind of crust to it, but I don't think it was breadcrumb. It just looked like maybe it was flour. So here I actually have flour and cornstarch. I have about 1 cup of flour, like a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, just to give it that nice crispiness. Threw in a little bit of salt, and this is good to go. This is already seasoned. We can start deep frying some chicken. I'm gonna take each of these balls of chicken and kind of just flatten it out just a little bit, and then press it into my flour and cornstarch mixture. Then take some of the mixture, place it right on top, and this, my friends, is ready to deep fry. Now with all of these ready, I can actually bring my fryer over here and now we can just start firing everything. I have my oil around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I can start frying. I think we can easily do 2 at a time in this. Wok frying, honestly, is the best way to fry to me. Now this chicken has been going for about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm gonna take these, place them onto this wire rack, so this way I can keep them warm in the oven while I fry up everything else. With all 4 of our pieces of chicken made, these are gonna sit in the oven while we fry up the bacon potato pocket. I really hope these work. Godspeed. We haven't had any explosions yet. This is fine. Oh, this is getting crispy very quickly. I'm also gonna get the second one in here because I wanna get it going too. That looks pretty stupendous, if I do say so myself. This is going in the oven. Now with the Hot Pockets done, the chicken is done, pretty much everything is done. Last but not least are the French fries. These have been actually sitting in the freezer, so they're extra cold. And let me know in the comments down below. I know that McDonald's French fries are goated, but I still think I like Five Guys French fries better. What do you think, Five Guys or McDonald's? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm just trying to agitate the French fries as I cook them, so this way they don't stick together too much, because realistically, I should have put more oil in here, but I ran out. These French fries have been going for about 5 minutes and they're nice and golden all the way around. Granted, they're a little bit dark, mostly because this is the same oil from everything else. That's okay, they're gonna be good. I'm gonna remove these and place them directly onto a piece of paper towel, and we can start plating up all 4 of these sandwiches. I'm gonna hit these with just a bit of salt, make sure these are well seasoned, and these go into the oven. Now that we have everything ready, we can finally plate up, and I'm gonna try to use my handy dandy menu to make sure it all goes according to whatever plan I fathomed. I have 2 brioche buns, nicely toasted, local bakery. Yeah, just buy brioche buns if you don't wanna make them. These take like 6 or 7 hours otherwise. First up is gonna be the Tatatsu Yuzu scented burger. So for that, I need 2 of these rice patty buns along with the brioche bun. This way I can just make both of them at the same time. So this is our smoked pepper mayo. This is going on this first setup. I'm gonna do a little bit on the top bun, a little bit on the bottom bun. Same thing with the rice. No, that's the top part of the bun. Now it's the bottom part of the bun. So Rachel hates mayonnaise and she said this was still good.
No.
Winner.
I did not say it was
Winner! Then a bit of cabbage on the bottom, 2 chicken patties, then the yuzu scented daikon. Do a good helping of this because it's kind of like relish, and then the top bun. That looks pretty nice. This one, because I messed up the plating, this goes this way now. They definitely serve this wrapped, so that way the rice wouldn't fall apart, so hopefully that stays, but that is a pretty nice looking chicken sandwich, if I do say so myself. Now the second one is actually with this smoked cheddar sauce that we had done, that was actually nutritional yeast. We're gonna do a little dab of this on the bottom, and a little on this side, but also, we don't know. I couldn't tell, they didn't mention it, but it looked like in some promos they may have had some cheese, so I'm also gonna throw on some smoked cheddar and we're just gonna blowtorch this. This one also gets some fresh cabbage, a little bit of that on there, my 2 chicken patties, and I think that was it. This one doesn't have anything fancy on top, just the sauces. And we have all of our sandwiches ready. Rachel had a great idea. I have an extra ramen cup from the Naruto video that I did, and I'm just gonna put these in here and we're gonna put the seasoning right on top. You're supposed to be able to shake the like hydrolyzed butter that they give you because it's basically like powdered butter, but since we don't have that, we're gonna be using real butter. Now they did mention the seasoning was buttery and peppery, so I just have some melted butter and black pepper. Again, black pepper has been a big theme of this entire menu, and I still wonder if because they were kind of going for like pirates and gunpowder. I have everything out, but everything's very brown. I mean, it's all G-bad, golden brown and delicious. There it is, guys, the entire one-piece menu from McDonald's in Japan. I'm gonna dig into the regular chicken burger first. This is the one with the smoky everything, not the one with the daikon yet, because I wanna save that one for last. Cheers. It's a good chicken burger. The chicken is nice and cooked. You get some smokiness, but I feel like it needed maybe a little more, maybe some MSG. Take a bite. Otherwise, it does have a nice, like, a little bit of a spice from the black pepper, but not much. Probably could have gone heavier with the seasoning. That one's still really nice, especially because at McDonald's, you're probably gonna pay like $4 for that. Should we do the rice ones next? So this one will be the rice version of the one we just tried, which reminds me of an onigiri. Cheers. I actually like this better. The rice kind of melds well with the mayo, but also the saltiness of the soy sauce, that's really good. Okay, now I'm really looking forward to the one with the daikon and yuzu, well, I guess lemon spread in this case. A little bit of yuzu or lemon with the daikon, that's really nice. I can see why Emily and Joe were so happy while they were eating these. This is really good. Now the same one, but with the rice. I wanna see if I like this one better with the rice or not. I like this one with the bun. I usually one with the bun, and the other one with the rice. Now, French fries. Granted, they are a little cold now, but the butter and the black pepper taste really good. And now we have Hot Pockets. I'm gonna open this guy up. Yeah, it's cooked enough. Tastes like a mashed potato and bacon pot pie. It's very greasy, and this belongs at the Minnesota State Fair. If you want any of these recipes, the links are down below so you guys can make these at home. Check out the website to pick up the book. My name is Chef PK, and remember, keep playing with your food.